We're not even gonna cut this because this is the reality. Like everyone sees, we go on Instagram and we post like the best rep of the day. 99% of reps look like that until we just drill it. It takes weeks, it takes months. Cookies with sharper. I need a fan like I serve. I get the money you heard. Hey, so today we got an NWSL player, incredible soccer player, played at USC. She's been with us almost the entire year now. Essentially over the past 11 months, we've seen a massive increase in her speed. First, it was more technical changes, and now we're starting to see physiological changes, where we're seeing her power increase, her speed increase, and just overall acceleration ability. Today, what we're doing is we're focusing on developing her peak power, and we're looking at the 5-meter segment, so our first initial acceleration. We want to see how well does she manage that phase, and can she get her power above 1,000 watts on the 1080. So we're going to go through a couple drills. We're going to start with posture drills, and then we're going to go to more transfer drills, and then eventually the 1080. So pretty similar session to what we did earlier in the week, so we just want to see if she can improve on her what she did last week. So a couple things we're going to focus on today. Number one is posture. So we want to see, can we get her trunk to manage that acceleration angle correctly? Second is leg action. So everything that we're doing today is hip flexion dominated and not knee flexion dominated. And then from there, we're looking at how does she project her body out? So posture and then projection. And then lastly, can she repeat that process? So can she hit the ground hard, project her body with good posture forward, and then manage the next contact. All right, so first one, let's go hands on the hip. Let's just do a posture hold. So we're focusing on the hip rising, and then the heel being a little bit under the hamstring, so squeezing back here, squeeze my hand, good. Up tall, so calf to hamstring, hip tall, posture up. So we want to think about almost posterior tilt with the pelvis under, but still staying tall. Good. Okay, put it down, left leg up. So to manage that, think about squeezing in, pulling your belly button into your spine, kind of posterior tilt, and then raising up. So you should feel like your psoas and everything in there start to fire. Good. Let's go right leg. Lift. Good. Pull that heel back. Nice and tall. Good. Shoulders right here. Beautiful. Good. Okay, left leg again. If I see an athlete and we start to see them sway side to side, or we start to see them not able to get in posterior tilt, we start to look at where are the hips when they bridge, and then how do they manage that bridge when they start to march. So just bridge up. So right now she's even, but now if she starts marching, go ahead, march one. A lot of athletes don't really understand that their pelvis moves laterally, side to side as well. So we want to manage that by keeping this in one spot the whole time. Ready? Good. Good. Okay, now let's go forward. So keep that in mind. Posterior tilt, slight, lift. We're gonna pause at the top. So you should feel it all in here. There's no knee bend here, it's hip flexion. So she's coming straight up. Straight up, good. What we're gonna look at is, we're gonna give her a cue, so overhead, see if her hips can get a little bit taller. So she's gonna lift, keep that same posture. We don't wanna see any lumbar extension, or we don't wanna see her round in here. We wanna see her keep this same posture with her hips tall. Good, let's put the whole foot on the way down. Good. Very good. We're not really focused on the arm swing or anything right now. We're just focused on, can we get the posture and the leg action? After we get those two, we might add a little bit of an arm swing to make it more dynamic. But now, we just want to see, can she manage that posture and the leg action? That's usually enough to understand for one day. Good. Good. Keep the posture. Hip flexion. Good. It's hard. So hard. It's hard. Why is it hard?
I mean, like the details, the hips actually have to be locked in. With your chest up, with your head up. Yeah. Every single detail. It's really complicated.
Yeah.
A lot of layers to it.
It is. It looks simple, but it's like the feeling is a lot more complex. Like you have to find it and you have to keep it the whole time.
Yeah, when you take perfect, I can tell because everything, I hit the ground and everything's in order. Good.
Drive the elbow back a little more. Good. Think about the shoulder moving, or so than the hand moving. Think about the shoulder rotation that's happening. Down, 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 down. I'm using more shoulder rotation. Like I can move my hand and my shoulder doesn't move at all.
Okay.
All right, so think about the whole shoulder adding more power down. Okay, let's go one more. Good. Now smooth it out. Can we keep that posture while we swing the shoulder? Good. So if she's not keeping her posture, she needs to get a little bit more vertical oscillation. A little bit more. Good. 10 reps, like a lot of times we'll go 10 yards. When you're doing it the right way, it's hard for elite athletes to go 10 yards. So sometimes we'll just do 10 reps, 20 reps. Let's go with the arms, switches with the stick. Good. Good. Good, I like it, that's it. Good. All right, we got the skill. She understands how to switch, but can we make it a forward motion? So can she bounce on that bottom leg and switch moving forward? So we'll go 10 yards. So it's perfect. So what I'm looking for is to see Is that top leg dropping before she decides to power it down? Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, it was. So what she's doing is started out bang, bang, bang. So you started to drop it. So what I'm looking for is I want the highest hammer on the way down. If I drop my hammer halfway down and then apply pressure, it's a lot less power down into the ground than if I'm attacking from the top position.
Oh, I lost everything.
Yeah, you lost everything.
If I do this, I lose every ounce of it.
Everything. As you have, and this is a mistake that like everyone makes when they start bouncing and switching. So when you start bouncing and switching, it starts looking like an ace kick.
Yes.
Right? So you have to be able to isometrically hold this side. Don't lose contact with this pole, but get the other one up to here. You see how you had to switch it? Visualize this staying there and the other one flipping up to it.
Oh, so I had to hang higher for a longer time.
Yep. Better. Move the bottom leg first. Good. We're not even gonna cut this because this is the reality. Like everyone sees, we go on Instagram and we post like the best rep of the day. 99% of reps look like that until we just drill it. It takes weeks, it takes months. So we're gonna drill it one more time. So her cue right now is to lock everything in place and imagine that you're moving like in a phone booth. Like you're in this position and then you're switching, just like you were when you're static, right? Okay. But what we're gonna do is hop on the left leg only. When I say switch, you're just gonna switch it up. Okay, ready? Switch. 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 Good, not bad. River will do triples, switches, dribbles.
Every game.
Before the game. So we'll go out, do the warm up, couple switches, because now what you're telling your body is that my leg is leaving the ground, I want you to do this. Right?
Hip flexor up. Hip flexor up.
I want you to do this. When my foot leaves the ground, I don't want it to do this. Take its time, right? I want it to get back from the back part, from toe off to up to here as fast as possible. Okay. Now it can attack down with power. All right? Good. 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 We're looking at that bottom leg and see the position of the leg and the position of the hip when she's bouncing forward. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's go to bound. It's probably the most challenging drill. Now we have a switch within a bound. We also have an aggressive contact and aggressive extension. So it's very similar to what an A march is, but what you do is when you hit the ground, you finish with the push, and then you have to switch back to the top. Good. Good. Good, very good. Money. That was money.
Let's go.
Good, good, good. We're gonna march, we're gonna bound, and then we're gonna sprint. Just to show the progression in the pattern. So it's all the same idea. Each one just has a little bit more level of complexity. So as she marches down, she's focused on vertical. When she starts to bound, she's focused on horizontal, but there's still a ton of air time. Then we take out the air time and we start to sprint. So we're gonna go march, bound, sprint. I'll call it out. Ready?
Yeah.
March, bound, sprint. Good. Obviously, when you start to sprint, you're gonna have more knee flexion. You're gonna have more of a cycle. You're gonna have more of the things that you try to train out of it. Just how much of that remains. So if she's still sprinting like this, coming all the way back, kicking herself in the back of the head, then we know that it probably didn't transfer. But if you see the foot leave the ground, manage this cycle from toe off back to the top, then we know it's a good rep. Down, go. Good. Sprint, go. Sprint, sprint, sprint. Good. I put this behind her legs here to show you that everything is coming front side. So when she's accelerating, it leaves the ground. It's not coming up like this, it's coming forward and then attacking down.
I'm mixing them cookies with sherbet. I need a fan like I serve. I get the money you heard.